Hello, my name is Dave Garland. I'm head mechanic for Chain Reaction Cycles Nukeproof World Cup team for 2011. We're here in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa for World Cup Round 1. I'd just like to take you through some setup that we're doing on Matti Lehikoinen's bike ready for tomorrow's practice. Okay, with the track here in Pietermaritzburg, there's a good mix of all types of terrain. You've got jumps, you've got rock sections, you've got very flat out pedally sections, you've got parts where you need to carry speed and try to stay off the brakes. If it does begin to rain, then obviously the track's going to become a lot slower. You'll use much more low-speed damping, and also we'll be going over to intermediate or spike tyres. If it does rain as much as last week, then really it's going to be down to a lot of fitness and not so much of bike-specific setup. We've come prepared with all the types of tyres we need for any weather eventualities. So we're going to be starting on dry tyres and we'll just see how the week goes from there. Matti's going to be using tubeless tyres. We're also going to be concentrating on low-speed compression setups at the fork and shock. So when you get to the pedally sections of this course, we're going to be making sure that the bike can plane evenly when Matti's sprinting. We've just received the new 2011 Marzocchi Evo RC3 tie fork, which we just tuned and put on the bike ready for this week. Matti's chose the gold links on the bike, which gives us a slightly higher BB, so it'll enable him to pedal a little bit quicker out of turns, and especially if there's any deep rutted sections, you'll still be able to get some pedal strokes in there. Specific settings and rider geometry for each of the 4 riders that are on the Nukeproof bikes this year. Matti is clipped in, therefore his weight distribution is very central to the bike, which means the fork and the shock are set up very, very evenly. And also the fork is quite a bit stiffer than a flat pedal rider setup, who generally hangs off the back of the bike a lot more. Therefore, if you're riding with flat pedals, the rear end of the bike needs to be sprung a little bit stiffer, but on the damping side, it still needs to be quite supple, so their feet don't get blown off the pedals. And hopefully, if the weather doesn't change too much, then those settings won't change an awful lot. We'll still be running high-speed damping on the fork and the shock, but if it does rain, normally you take as much high-speed damping out of the fork and shock as possible, so the bike doesn't become unstable or doesn't flick sideways if it hits a crossed route or a wet rock. Bike will stay very stable if you just increase low speed. First practice tomorrow will give us some good indications of how good we can get our bike set up. Generally, we need to get the thing set up on the first day so the riders can concentrate on going faster throughout the week. Come qualifying and race day, depending on the weather pattern, because that always still plays a part. It's always good to be at the end of the field for race day, but that depends on the weather.